Time now for our World Cup debrief with Emily Boyle. Host Canada and the United States launched their World Cup campaigns yesterday in front of their home crowds.
Yeah, it was the launch of both the US's and Canada's campaigns here, and with me to discuss all of the details from those games is Tando Sibia. But before I come to you, Tando, and all of your expert opinion, let me remind everyone of what happened yesterday during those games, in case you missed it. It was quite a nervous game for Canada in front of a bright red stadium in Toronto, full of fans. Canada had a few good occasions early on, but Jovo Lukic spoiled the party in the 21st minutes with a header off of a corner kick. You can see him celebrating there. In the second half, the Canucks leaned on their substitutes for some magics, and it was Kyle Larin who made his appearance in the 76th minute and scored 120 seconds later. The score stayed at 1-1 until the final whistle. Now, a draw might seem like a disappointment, but it means Canada take home their first ever World Cup point. Now, Tando, it was a good start for Canada, but we saw a few technical details were missing. What did you make of their performance?
I think that as an opening start or the opening game, there was a lot of pressure on Canada, especially them not being considered perhaps as strong as the United States or even Mexico coming into this as the tri-hosts. So I do think that there was a lot of pressure, and they almost crumbled under that pressure and taking an L in this opening encounter. But I do think that there's areas that can be fixed going into the next encounter in this particular group. And yeah, let's see what changes will be made.
And they came out with such a fighting spirit in the second half. Did you see that difference? What do you think was said in half time?
Fix it up. And, I think also that same as take it back to Mussolini days, same as how Italy won the World Cup back then. All they needed was a speech at halftime from Mussolini to just say, win or die. Perhaps not as intense in this one, but I do think that the psychological component of finding each other in the locker room is also quite strong and effective. And perhaps that's all they needed to just come back,
Yeah.
I also think that was just their second goal in World Cup history for Canada.
It was their second actual goal, their third in total, but one of them was an own goal, yeah. So actually, if you score one goal, you join the top scorers list if you're a Canadian player.
Great performance. The final host to take the center stage was the U.S. The Stars and Stripes were up against Paraguay, and it turned into quite the party for Team USA.
Yeah, they started off their campaign absolutely brilliantly with a confident 4-1 win against Paraguay, definitely silencing some of their doubters, myself included, as we were talking about earlier on. But let's have a listen to what head coach Pochettino had to say after that game.
The performance was really good. I think we really played well. We are so happy. But that is only the start. It's still 2 games to play. We need to enjoy about that start of the tournament, but knowing that we need to keep going and trying to improve and try to do better in the next game, because it's going to be all the games very competitive. It was amazing for our fans to see, to watch this type of game. And today, I think I am so proud, and we are so proud all, because I think we are winning a lot of fans, adding fans in that sport here in America.
Yeah, well, he's talking about a number of things there, talking about fans being super happy with that performance. But let's come back on some of the player performances last night. I have a few statistics that I'd like you to comment on. Following Balogun became the first US man to score twice in a World Cup game since 1930. What did you make of his play yesterday?
What an exceptional performance. I just think his partnership with Christian Pulisic, was exceptional. Pulisic charging, marshalling the offense for the United States. And I think it was evident that this is a coherent team. About 6, if I'm not mistaken, players are based in Europe. And so it's beautiful to see what Pochettino has put together with this squad selection, going back to Balo, as they refer to him affectionately, even seeing how Pochettino brings in the discussion about individual performance, but he doesn't necessarily emphasize it. He focuses more on the team effort. So I think that was really incredible, but I think he was really exceptional. But up front, just all together, I do think that this USA side were really strong, even seeing the changes that they made in the second half, bringing on Timothy Weah, who actually scored the first opening goal for the United States in the 2022 World Cup. And so he's got that experience, having had his first national call-up back in 2018 for the United States. He's been capped 47 times. And so I do think that there's a balance of experience, and also having the likes of Balo, who's coming from Arsenal structures, also Monaco in France, which is where he's currently based, playing in the Ligue 1. So you do see the depth, and also understanding, taking it back to Pochettino and the brains that he has in being able to put together a side that has this much depth, even substituting Captain Pulisic at halftime, and they still were able to keep their cool and hold it down. We have heard news from Fabrizio on the socials saying that it is okay, nothing's really bad in terms of injury concerning Pulisic, so we can expect to see him in the next fixture.
It was just more preventive, wasn't it? Just
Exactly.
protecting their players for the long run. But, I mean, they've scored 4 goals, one more than they did in their whole campaign in Qatar. And you were talking about their attack, but let's have a look quickly at some of their defenders. One player logged 100% accuracy from 83 passes. Now, I'll find his name because I've momentarily lost it. But isn't that incredible, just to show the quality of the players taking part in this game?
They're very clinical. I think when we speak about the technical prowess that they were able to present in yesterday's game, it's quite unlike what we've seen over the years when we speak about the US national team. And so looking at the defense as well, even taking it back to Matt Fries and the significance that he has being the goalkeeper of the United States side, seeing the chances that were brought up in the second half from Paraguay and how he's made some critical stops. He's very acrobatic as well. So technically, we do look at it being an across the field thing for this US team. And so, yeah, it's definitely something that we can keep looking out for in the duration of the tournament, yeah.
I think that brings us to some of the big debates that we've had this year.
The VAR segment here at France 24, the football debates, and the one that is on everyone's lips, especially mine, is did the US prove everyone wrong?
Yeah, did the US prove everyone wrong? I mean, they surely put in such a huge performance. US fans obviously super chuffed with that. Let's take a listen to what they had to say after that game as well.
After this game, I think it's possible that we could make the quarterfinals, semifinals. The home crowd really uplifted them. You could feel it on the field. And we have some very good players, so it was extremely encouraging.
I love the fact that we scored 4 goals. Atmosphere was fantastic.
It was great, yeah.
We connected with the Paraguayan fans too. Officiating was okay. And yeah, I had a good time. It's our first FIFA game here in America.
Yeah, so very chuffed US fans there. Now, that defender I was talking about that logged that 100% accuracy with 83 passes was Chris Richards. Obviously, remember his name because it will be around, I'm sure. And Tando, that brings me to asking you the question of this debate. Did the US prove everyone wrong? And how far can this team go?
They proved everyone wrong, myself included, and I have to say I'm very sorry, Will.
We're not keeping score.
I mean, coming from a prediction of 2-1 in favor of Paraguay, I was also quite surprised, but I do think that in terms of this game, and I'll come back to the answer about did we underestimate this US side? Definitely. But looking at Paraguay, I do think that by them conceding a goal that early into the game, it threw them off completely. And the USA were able to capitalize on it. Bobadilla, it was really unfortunate for them. And you saw even in the second half when he was substituted and they brought in Julio Enciso, who then went on to proceed and score the first and only goal for Paraguay. It does show you that they do have some kind of prowess. They did have some options, but they weren't really successful to break the momentum that the United States had in this game. Like they were... Yeah, unbelievable. But in terms of underestimating the USA, I definitely think we have tactically and technically, they are really clean. They have options on the bench. Defensively, they're solid. and their wing play is exceptional. I saw where most of the chances were coming from. It was mostly from the flanks, the build-up in the flanks, most of the passes going out to the flanks, long balls going into the box. And so I think if they can keep up the strategy, especially being the first team in all of the games that we've seen, having a start that impactful, very fast-paced, very entertaining to watch, but also very clinical too. So I do think that the US is a side for us to look out for, and we can perhaps call them the dark horses, but maybe it's too soon.
A new day. Let's talk about the matches to come. I think we got 4 games on the slate today.
Yeah, quite a few games on the slate. Let's have a look at some of those fixtures, if we can bring them up on the screen for you. Qatar, as we know, will face against Switzerland. Switzerland's my country, so I'm hoping they'll do well. But Qatar will be looking for redemption at 9 p.m. Paris time. The hosts lost all their games at their Maiden World Cup in 2022. There you have all of those fixtures overnight for you. That will be followed by, of course, the huge fixture of this group stage, Brazil against Morocco at midnight Paris time, so stay up for that one. If you're feeling even braver, you can stay up for Haiti against Scotland, and for the most invincible of us all, at 6 o'clock there'll be that final game between Australia and Turkey in the early hours of Sunday morning.
Yeah, Morocco and Brazil is definitely one of the biggest fixtures of this group stage. What are you expecting?
I think fireworks all round. 5-time world champions Brazil are up against African champions pending a legal decision. I have to put an asterisk on that AFCON title. But the Atlas Lions are coming into this competition with a lot to prove, obviously. And Brazil, meanwhile, are under the leadership of a foreigner for the first time ever, but not any foreigner. No, only the great Carlo Ancelotti. So, Tando, what do you think? What is this Brazil team going to look like under 5-time Champions League winner Carlo Ancelotti?
Don Carlo. I think we're all excited to see what he's put together. We do know that when it comes from recruitment purposes and where Real Madrid source most of, or quite a large number of their players, it's in Brazil. So I do think that this is not a man who is not akin with the Brazilian style of football, even the players themselves. I think one player that we can definitely, I want to look out for is Endrick. And just the impact that he's going to have. He was sent out on loan to Lyon from Real Madrid. While
brilliantly there.
Exceptionally, he's been marshalling the defense. His confidence has His confidence has gone up by a long shot. And I do think that that was one of the main reasons that he was sent out to Lyon, obviously to find himself within a different team setup, but also to gain more confidence, because that confidence is exactly what's needed. The fearlessness in pressing, in duels, and also just the confidence to take the shot from anywhere on the pitch, which is exactly what we saw from him this season against Lyon. He made an upset against Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, so I do definitely think that he's a player that we can definitely look out for. They do have a couple of injuries. Mr. Injury himself, Neymar, is part of this dispensation, so we're all excited to see what he's going to do in potentially his last World Cup. But I do see that they are a side that we can for sure look out to see. But I also think they have tough opponents in Morocco. Yeah. On the continent, they are the best. They made it to the semi-finals in the Qatar World Cup. And so here we have quarterfinalists in Brazil and semi-finalists in Morocco coming up against each other. So we are going to see entertaining, clinical, gorgeous football, because Morocco's also coming with a new coach, Mohamed Wabi, who has been selected brought into the fray 3 months before the World Cup. But this is not just any man. He was appointed 3 months before the World Cup, won the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in 2025. And in Chile, it was the Atlas clubs, which is what the younger side, the Under-20 side of Moroccans are called, defeated Argentina 2-0 in that World Cup final. So when we're looking at the continuity and the youth structured, the younger players that are brought into this national team, I do think that this is a coach who's going to be able to bring out the best in the younger players, but also institutionally, he's got a good relationship with Walid Regragui. I'll cut it over here because let's keep it moving. I'm just too passionate.
Well, we don't have very much time left, but I just wanted to get your predictions. Obviously, you've got Brazil, Morocco. I was wondering what your thoughts were on that one.
Ooh, tough one.
Very difficult.
I do think there'll be a lot of goals.
Okay.
So yesterday I wasn't too strong in my predictions. So
I'm writing everything down.
Keeping track of everyone.
Luckily, I don't gamble. I don't think I will walk away with a lot of money. But I do think that in this one, Morocco might cause an upset.
Okay.
So I'll say same scoreline as yesterday, 2-1 in favor of the Moroccans.
And I'm a very interested Swiss fan, of course. So I'd like to hear your expert opinion on the Swiss scoreline before we hand it back to Will.
You can't be neutral.
I was about to say a draw.
A draw.
Yes, a 1-1 draw like we saw last night with Canada as well. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah.
I'm saying 12-1. No, I'm joking. I'll reckon 3-1. 3-1 for Switzerland.
All right. So tune in tomorrow to find out if Emily and Dando were right or wrong. That's it for the World Cup debrief. Please stay tuned to France 24.